What's going on, Geek fam? GeekSpot82 here with my month of May comic book haul. Before I even get into it, I want to thank Key Collector. They've been helping me with my collection a ton. Those notifications for being a subscription member really help out with knowing, hey, this book's about to spike. Maybe hold on to it, or maybe it's time to let go of that book before it drops. So I've really been enjoying using that to find some hidden keys in my own collection, things like that, or when to know to go hunt for that key that might be jumping up in price very soon. So I've been using that one, and I've really been enjoying it. So thank you there. But without further ado, you guys are here to see comic books. Let's talk about comic books. On the top of my stack here, and I don't know, you can see I've got a pretty nice stack of stuff to talk about. I've got Savage Eve #1. So last video I kicked off with an EBOS cover, and we're going with an EBOS cover to start this video. Look at that gorgeous book, Savage Eve #1. I have wanted this book for a while. I'm very happy to have it in my collection finally. And then, so something super fun happened. As you guys know, I'm a pretty big Kickstarter campaign fan. And I kickstarted White Widow when it initially started, and I even did White Widow 2 and 3 off Kickstarter, but unfortunately those books got lost in transit somewhere. Probably my own fault, because I moved in that, and I thought I had set up my forwarding address. I did, but somewhere in between moving and all of this, craziness going on in the world with COVID, I never got my books, so I reached out to them, and they were gracious enough that they just sent me the Kickstarter that I got without any problems or provocation. Cost me $3 extra in shipping to send out the books that I had missed out on. So thank you so much to Absolute Comics and Jamie Tyndall for taking care of me and getting me these books that I was so happy to own. So this is White Widow 2 and 3. And again, I'm going to post photos of these so you guys can really see. So #2 is a hollow foil cover, and then #3, it's just a super cool cover. I really enjoy the story from #1 and the world they're trying to build. So I'm interested in seeing it. I think #4 is currently on Kickstarter and available. Hopefully it's still going by the time I am able to post this video. But if not, add it to your watch list, and by the time #5 comes around, they typically will do some kind of package where you can get some of those back issues and get caught up, whether it's digital or physical copies of the book. So thanks to the Comic Book Collective on Instagram, I was able to pick up a Cyborg Superman cover that I didn't even know about. In this comic, it's just a regular book, but it's Cyborg Superman versus the Suicide Squad, and I just loved the art for this. I had to go pick it up. I don't think it's a key. I don't think there's any first appearances, but to me, he's my favorite version of Superman because he's flawed, I guess, but I had to have this, so I picked it up. And then I got this gorgeous cover of Domino #1, with her and Wolverine in their X-Force uniforms. I just love the cover for this book. It is a variant for the #1 of Domino. Gorgeous. And then this month was a pivotal month for me. A couple years ago, I had to sell pieces of my collection to help pay for some things that were going on in life. Anybody who's collected for any amount of time probably knows how that feels, but it never feels good when you see those books jumping up in price when you knew you had a copy. But I was able to replace my copy of Uncanny X-Men #266, the first appearance of Gambit. Now in the last video, I told you about that X-Men annual that is rumored to now be the first appearance of Gambit because it came out technically before this book, but I wanted to make sure I had it either way. So this came in right after I shot my last video, but I officially have it in my collection. I love the colors on that, the way they pop off the page. So then this was a Key Collector notification. I pulled this out. This was one I already had, but I wanted to make sure I had it labeled as a Key comic. Again, Key Collector notified me. I was able to go pull this out real quick and make sure it is in the correct space. I did pick this up off of eBay. It's a, I'd say maybe a mid-grade Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 22, the first appearance of Speedball. So if you don't know who Speedball is, he ended up being one of the New Warriors, and the New Warriors are who kicked off the Civil War in the Marvel comic book universe. So I thought this was a great pickup, and one of my original favorite Marvel superheroes was Daredevil. I love all the street level heroes there, and he's featured on the cover as well, so that was a nice pickup. Key Collector spec deck. Made sure I knew that Prophet may be getting his own movie very soon, so I picked up a first appearance of the Prophet in Youngblood number 2. Way back in the 90s when Image was just really taking off. Rob Liefeld, creator of Deadpool. Then I picked up, this was just a book that I thought the cover was gorgeous. Batman 457. It's actually the first time Robin is in his uniform. Tim Drake Robin, not Dick Grayson Robin, but first time he's pictured in his uniform in the book. And it's just a great older Batman creepy cover with him versus Scarecrow. So that's a lot of fun. Picked up Marvel Point One, which is the first appearance of, I think it's the second or third Nova, Sam, who's rumored to, you know, they're definitely going to be doing a Nova movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so we don't know which one it's going to be, so I wanted to make sure I had all my bases covered and had that one. So then a couple other highlights. I got this Divine Right number 1. For those of you that don't know, Divine Right's one of my all-time favorite comic books. It's one of the few books that I have the entire run of. But this one is signed by Jim Lee. So super glad to have that to add to the collection with the rest of the books. I'm working on getting, there's some European variants that I don't have that I need to pick up, but otherwise I have the entirety of that, all the variants. So I'm super happy for that. And then, who doesn't love a good Halloween book? So Halloween Night, is it? Yeah, Night Dance, signed by Tim Seeley. He did a lot of great work at Devil's Due Comics. He does some of my favorite books. So Michael Myers is my favorite slasher. I love comic books. It was a happy marriage between the two, and that one just happened to be signed by Tim Seeley, so I was super happy to have that added to the collection. So I also subscribed for the first time to That Spider-Man Booth mystery mail call. So here's their box. And the back also has a graphic. Very distinct red box. I like it. It jumps off at you. So this one came with Batman Who Laughs number 6. And this looks like it's a variant. I couldn't tell you who the variant's by. But that is a gorgeous book. I think between my mystery mail call and this, I have almost the entirety of the Batman Who Laughs run there. At least, you know, the 1 through 7 books. Here's another variant for Batman Who Laughs number 3. That's a good looking book again. Both of them show the Batman Who Laughs prominently on the cover. That's great. So this one is Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy number 3. Alright, that's a good looking book, especially if you love Harley and Poison Ivy. Yeah, again, I don't know who did this cover off the, you know, just based off of the art, but gorgeous book. So the last 3 there, you notice had monetary value of $20, $15, and $15, so that's what, $50 in value is what they're saying. I think I paid $40 overall for the box, so if that's true, definitely got my value out of the box because I still have a couple more books in here, with Resurrection Man number 10 being the next one. There we go. So never been a huge fan of Resurrection Man, but and then the last book in the box is going to be Batman and Superman. This one's actually pretty hip. It's got Red Hood on it. Red Hood is another one of those great anti-heroes. A lot of fun to read. Jason Todd, the prodigal Robin who came back. All right, so that was that Spider-Man Booth mystery box. I actually have 2 more coming, so hopefully I will be able to do another unboxing for you guys for them, and we'll see how they do. If the next 2 are good, we'll keep it going. If the next 2 aren't great, then that'll be that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was Zenscope Entertainment did a thing called the Book Club, and you signed up. It was $10. They gave you 4 graphic novels, a metal bookmark, and 4 metal trading cards from characters across their universe. The caveat to that deal is you have to buy 8 graphic novels within the next year at normal price. So this was my first 4 to meet that requirement. I have never read any of their Robin Hood character stories, so I picked up Robin Hood Riot Girls, which is volume 1 of her story. Volume 2, Monsters in the Dark. Van Helsing versus Robin Hood. And Robin Hood Legend. So all of these ran about $12-15, but that makes 8 graphic novels I now have for about $60 in total, maybe. So as far as the curve, I feel like I'm still definitely getting my value out of it. I think they just launched wave 2 of this, so if that's something you're interested in, they've got all kinds of, they do the Grimm fairy tales, they do Robin Hood, they do Little Mermaid. They've taken a lot of the Grimm's fairy tale creatures or your Disney characters and turned them on their head and made them comic book heroes and or villains. So the art is usually pretty stunning. Jamie Tyndall works with them a lot. Don Mateague, I think, has worked with them. So a lot of great artists work with them. I'll read them and let you guys know if the stories are worth the read. But that's it, man. That's the comic book haul for the month of April 2020. What do you guys think? What should I look for next month? We'll see you soon, guys. Bye.